We're back. Snappy Tomato Pizza. Chris Brinkley with Coach Jason Simpson here, University of Tennessee Martin Skyhawk Sports Network. Coach, I know you have an incredibly busy week because it's a short week. Thanks for coming by. Skyhawks coming off the loss against Northern Illinois. We'll turn around and play Thursday against Southeastern Louisiana, and then you have a long week before you jump into conference play. So it's going to work out for you in the long run.
Well, we think so, and luckily we're at home this week, so that's kind of how we set the schedule up. So, the first 2 weeks difficult. And then you're at home, and so if you get a win this week, and then enjoy your weekend as you get ready to get into conference play.
We won't spend a lot of time talking about the Northern Illinois game, but 35-7, the final back on Saturday. Pretty good football team.
It is. I mean, we knew that. 11 wins last year, win the MAC, and had Iowa beat, Big Ten team beat, and so we knew what we were going up against. There were spots where I was really pleased. I really was. I don't think there was a whole lot of spots where, you say you're overmatched. And that's what we talked about as a team, is that there were times that we had opportunities to win individual battles, and we did that. And then, then there was times that we didn't. And then there were some times that no matter who you were playing, when you do some not very smart things in a football game, that not very sound thing or good decisions, no matter who you're playing, when you compound that on, bigger and stronger guys. So, but, the games probably should have been, probably a 14, 16-point game probably. But it is what it is. You missed 2 field goals again. You fumbled the ball, through the end zone. There's 13 points that are hanging out there for you right there. Maybe, now maybe it's 35-20. And, your mindset's a little bit different.
Coach, looking back at the game again, 35-7, the final score. I want to talk a little bit about, and you've watched the film and you scouted him, their quarterback, Jordan Lynch. And when you see him, he doesn't look incredibly quick or athletic. He seems to be one of those quarterbacks that likes contact. But not only did he have a good game against us, he had a good game prior to that. What makes him a good quarterback?
Very physical. I mean, he's not the fastest, but he's big and strong and durable. And they have a really good scheme for him. I don't know if you noticed early, but they were getting some unbalanced looks and motioning the split in and creating some quad looks for you, and then you turn that into a quarterback run at times. It can leave you short with some guys in the box to stop the run, and they're very physical and very very big and strong up front. So I mean, they create some problems, and then you start trying to get in there in that box and stop the run, and then all of a sudden a couple of our safeties lost their eyes, and some guys run right past us for touchdowns, and it's one of those deals at safety. You can play, you play 50 plays and 40 good ones and 10 bad ones, and there can be some 28 points. So a lot of pressure on our safeties.
Coach, in the game, much like in the Memphis game, third down conversions, and you just look at the number, we're 5 of 16, which should be better. But part of that is the situation we're in going into the third down opportunities. And I know you talk about that. Those are always keys to the game.
It is, but the national average for third down is going to be about 39%. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, you're going to be higher when it's when it's short yardage. So, but yeah, no doubt about it, first and second downs. But they only had 2 of 3 third downs in the first half. So obviously that was a problem getting them to third down. But anyway, it was definitely a team loss on the coaching staff as well as the players. But there were some bright spots. That team's probably going to win 9 games.
That was my next question. Yeah,
I'd be surprised throughout the MAC that that they'll be back in the Quality Bowl game if they don't win the MAC. And those 2 safeties were that number 15. You had to know where he was, or he was going to let you know. And so, so I was very proud. Derek Carr played a good game, except, the last dumb throw he makes, and he'll be the first one to tell you that on the interception, on a little deception play. Quentin Sims matched up individually.
Quentin Sims, listen, 10 catches, 152 yards, and some of those he caught, I didn't think he was going to catch. I mean, he was a magician at times.
We're not as fast as as some of the years we've had, but we're big and durable, and he matched up and represented himself very well. The challenge is we got to find another guy.
Right.
Somebody else has got to step up. I mean, that's and we were hoping it was going to be Jeremy Butler. He got hurt with a concussion, so that that second spot is still open. I thought Montoya Hughes played well, made some good plays for us. Ben Johnson, I think, had 10, 12, 13 tackles. Mm-hmm. DJ McNeil, the tailback position. There was quite a few individual efforts that And Ryan Nielsen, the D-line coach there that used to be here with us, he and I were talking yesterday and just kind of compared notes as we move on the rest of the season. And he was the first one that said, hey, Coach, I broke out down all your games last year, and your offensive line is just head and shoulders ahead of what it was last year. And, we know that. I was hoping other people would see that as well. And, didn't help us the other night, but it's good to hear, a colleague that has been watching you on tape and studying you on tape say that.
And going into that game, Northern Illinois, I think, led the country in sacks. And even though Derek got hit a couple times, I thought we did a pretty good job protecting him.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think, I think it said 3, but when you go back and look at it, I don't know where that number comes from because, we had the grounding penalty, but,
right.
That shouldn't count as a sack. So, in our books, there's still no sacks. And so, you knock on wood, you're looking at, 50-something quarters that we've gone without giving up a sack. And a lot of that's now is, obviously offensive line, but Derek does a great job getting rid of the football, and our backs do a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, he just couldn't slide a little bit to his left on the one he threw away, or, he'd have never taken the ground penalty.
Skyhawks again falling to Northern Illinois. Again, this is a non-conference game against a very good opponent. And in the non-conference schedule, you're just preparing for OVC play. And I guess what I'm saying, it means a lot, but it doesn't mean as much as the game coming up in a couple of weeks.
Well, no doubt about it. And you have to. You're still on NIU? I'm sorry, because I was thinking about practice in 2 minutes.
We're going to go. We'll take a break and we'll come back and strictly talk about Thursday night's game. Is that cool? Yeah. No, I'm a little off too. We'll take a break and come back with Coach Jason Simpson live from University of Tennessee at Martin Skyhawk Talk. Snappy Tomato Pizza on the UT Martin Skyhawk Sports Network.